What Hashem we're doing Parashat Vayera. In Parashat Vayera, the Torah starts off with a mitzvah. And apparently it's a big mitzvah. This is the mitzvah of Achnasat Orchim. And there's, you know what, the Torah doesn't say stories. The Zohar says, whoever thinks, Achnasat Orchim, Bikur Cholim also. Achnasat Orchim, the three angels that came to Abraham. And the Torah more elaborates on the Achnasat Orchim than Bikur Cholim. Bikur Cholim, Vayera Alav Hashem. And he says, Hashem, wait for me. And he goes to Machnis Orchim, and then the whole thing, please come to me. I have chapat lechem, I'll give you bread. Rachatzu aglechem, shanu tachat ha'etz, leila bakar atz Avraham. The Torah elaborates more in the mitzvah of Achnasat Orchim. The thing is, the Zohar explains that whoever thinks the Torah is telling stories, right, is a tipesh. Like he didn't understand nothing. If you think, you ask people, which Chumash you like best? Bereshit. There's so many stories. People love stories, right? And especially those stories. That is for kids. If you ask a kid, he's going to tell you, right? Some people, do you like Vayikra? No, Vayikra is too technical, right? There's too much in Vayikra. Vayikra is korbanot, chatat, and one day, one night, you have to sprinkle the blood this way. Right? People don't like Vayikra, right? Bamidbar, you have a little bit of story still, right? But the main stories are in Bereshit. But Zohar says, if your kavana is to read Bereshit and to enjoy the stories, you didn't understand nothing what the Torah wants to say. I want to show you an example, right, from a commentary of the Khatam Sofer on this part of the Torah. So basically, what's the story? Again, just the story. The story is Avraham is painful after Brit Milah. He's really sorry that he cannot have guests this day, and Hashem sees how much he's painful for the fact he cannot have guests. So Hashem sends 3 angels, Bidmut Anashim. He doesn't know they're angels, he thinks they're men. They come to him and he tells them, I'll give you a little bit of bread, just wash your feet, sit down, and he prepares a whole meal. Now, in the preparation, it says over here that Avraham Avinu, right? Avraham Avinu, he runs. Vayimaer Avraham ha'oela el Sarah. He runs to the tent of Sarah. She didn't see the guest. She's in the tent. He runs over there and he tells Mari, fast, we got guests. Mari, shelo seim, 3 measures of kemach, solet, right? Semolina, lushi v'asiugot. Please prepare me cakes, do me bread, and I want to serve my guest. Okay? Comes the Gemara in Baba Metzia, and the Gemara says the following thing. Mikan, from here, we learn halacha that ladies do not like guests. Isha tzara enea ba'orchim. How did you see that? Because the Gemara says kemach is not solet, solet is not kemach. Kemach is the raw product. You take wheat, you grind it, you get flour. If you take this flour and you sift it, the more you're going to sift it, the more it's going to be like pure, and it's going to be called solet, right? Solet lemincha belula b'shem katit revitayin. Solet is the much higher degree of the flour. Flour is raw. Solet, right? So the Gemara explains that for the Korban HaOmer, they would sift the flour of barley 13 times, like 13, 13 napot. One time and the second time till it really becomes.
But what they do is they take a thinner mesh every time.
Yeah,
it's not the same mesh.
It's not the same mesh, and they make it thinner. This is solid, right? So now the question is, what happened over here? Kemach, solid. Did Avraham want kemach, or which is the raw product, or do you want really refined product, which is solid? Says the Gemara. So when he came to Sarah, he says, "Ma'arish shloshet seim, 3 measures." Okay, I'll do kemach. Don't worry, I'll do kemach, right? And what Avraham said, no, solet. This is the guest. I was waiting a whole day for guest. I want something very refined, something very good, right? So it's the Gemara. So you see, shetzara enea ba'orchim. She wanted to give like just a simple product, which is kemach, and Avraham wanted the higher level. He wanted this, right? Some say the opposite. Some say no. Avraham said, because I'm in a rush, I want you to make kemach. And she says, no, you were waiting for the guest the whole day. I'll give you something even better. I'll give you solid. So how do you see that she's tzara enea ba'orchim if she wanted to give a better product? Says the Gemara, no, because she was an exception. Why does the Torah say that? Avraham wanted kemach, the raw product. She wanted to give the refined product. This is Sarah Imenu. To teach you that usually ladies do not do that. This is because she's Sarah Imenu. So usually that's why Isha, didn't say Sarah, Isha Sarah Imenu. Okay. This is something that the Gemara is learning, but the question is the following. The Khatam Sofer comes and he has something very... He says, do you think really they're going to now argue, he's going to start arguing with her, Kemach, so you think really that's the discussion of here? Not at all. The Khatam Sofer says this is not at all the discussion over here. Between Abraham and Sarah, you're talking about the father of the nation, the mother of the nation. You think they're going to start, the Torah is going to bring us like a story of Kemach Solet? Right? Or maybe you want to say, that was not at all. So the Khatam Sofer brings the following thing. He says, we're talking about matriarchs, the discussion was the following thing. When Abraham received guests, what did he do exactly? He gave them to eat, he gave them to drink, and he starts to speak about God. You know, there's one God, there's not all you believe in the Getchkes, you know, all these things doesn't exist. And he started to explain to them, it's impossible, look at the sun, look at the thing, look, right? And he started to teach them Torah. He was giving them Torah lessons, right? The question is, what type of Torah lessons should you give over to the guests that come to you? You have Chiloni coming to your house. He finally agrees to come to your house. Or he's a family member, Rachok. And you sit down at the table. Are you going to start telling him a Tosfot, a Rashba, Gemara and Baba Kama with the Stira and Baba Metzia and the Tosfot answer? Are you going to start there? Or are you going to tell him Alakha Psuka? You're going to tell him, you know, we have to light candles of Shabbat. You know, when we have to sit down to eat, we have to make a motzi. What type of... Sarah Imenu, she was in the idea, you give kemach. You know what means kemach? Kemach means raw. Give them a raw product and let them start to refining what they get. So basically let them start to ask questions, you answer them, you'll tell them, though, in this case it's this. Avraham Avinu was there, no. When guests come to me, they don't know nothing. I give solet. I give something like alacha. You have to light candles of Shabbat. You have to say amotzi every time you eat bread. So basically the discussion, says the Khatam Sofer, was how to teach people coming to your house, right? Which type of... He brings down the Gemara. The Gemara says in Nedarim, the Gemara in Lamed Chet Amud Aleph, the Gemara says the following thing. The Gemara says that Lo nitna Torah ela leMoshe ulzaro. You know when Hashem gave the Torah, Hashem gave it only to Moshe Rabbeinu and his kids. What do you mean, says the Gemara? Okay? The Gemara says, the Torah says beferish, right? That he was supposed to teach them. He was right. He was supposed to teach them the Torah. So the Gemara, Re'eh limati otchem chukim u'mishpatim. Another pasuk, V'oti tziva Adonai ba'et ha'i lelamed otchem. So the Gemara brings few psukim to show you that Moshe Rabbeinu was given order to teach Torah. So how can you come and say the Torah was given to Moshe Rabbeinu? Conclusion of the Gemara, there was two parts of the Torah. There was the iyun, the deeper part of the Torah, right? The pilpul, the question, answer, and the coming to conclusions. That was given only to Moshe Rabbeinu. But when Hashem gave Torah Moshe Rabbeinu for Am Israel, He told them, you teach them alacha psuka. No pilpulim, huh? No, Aspakanya, this is the way He spoke to Hashem. Over here, it's how does He have to give over the Torah to Am Israel? When He speaks about tefillin, right? You make a box, tell them, right? Without all the shitot. Yesterday we were discussing Rabbeinu Tam, right? We were discussing Rabbeinu Tam. So once they asked the Gra, Gaon Vilna, he knew all the, right? So they asked him, why don't you put Rabbeinu Tam? So he says, I cannot put Rabbeinu Tam because if I'm going to be choshesh to the opinion of Rabbeinu Tam, there is 63 opinions how to do tefillin. So why should I put Rabbeinu Tam, which is one opinion, there's Rashi, there's Rabbeinu Tam, but there is 63 opinions, so there's 61 more shitot. So what, I'm going to do all the shitot? So it's better to do basic. What's basic, Rashi? Right? Moshe Rabbeinu was told, when you teach Am Israel, don't tell them, Tosfot holds this shita, and Rashi holds like this, and Ramban holds like this. Tell them what's tachles, what they're supposed to do, straight. Right? Comes Moshe Rabbeinu, says the Gemara, and the Gemara brings a pasuk. Tov ayin u yevorach. Some people have a good eye. What's a good eye? They're generous. When Hashem started to teach Moshe Rabbeinu the pilpul and all the ins and outs of the Torah, he said, why should I keep it to myself and my children? I want to teach it to Am Yisrael. So the Gemara says, Tov ayin. He was very generous with Am Yisrael. Why? He was not coming to them and says, you have to put tefillin. He was telling him all the shitot, all the mekorot. He was telling him the questions, the answers, how to come to conclusion. The pilpul, says Rashi, the pilpul, okay? Una'ad bo tov ayin, la'avin davar mitoch davar, to understand one from the other thing. And Hashem didn't tell him that. That's why he's tov ayin. Comes Avraham Avinu, he says, listen, even Hashem told Moshe Rabbeinu to teach them halakha psuka. That's what I'm going to teach my guest. She comes and says, no, this is solid. Solid means refined. No, don't give them the refined last product. Give them the raw product and let them arrive. How do they arrive to the refined product? Questions, answers, pilpulim, this. So basically the mother and the father of the nation, what are they discussing? What do you think? Discussing flour and solid? Just the Khatam Sofer. Much more than that. They are discussing how to give over Torah to Am Yisrael, to their guest. And in the future, it's going to be Am Yisrael.
So she was saying, let them ask, be quiet? Like you say what? She was telling Avraham Avinu,
give them kemach, give them a product.
Avraham Avinu sounds like Tachlo. That's what Avraham Avinu sounds like.
Yeah, Tachlo, but
it sounds like Sarah Imenu didn't want Avraham Avinu to Tachlo.
Right. No, Sarah Imenu wants them to take what Avraham is teaching them and ask questions. Make them ask a question. What I told you just now. What do you think about this? He's going to ask you, yeah, I think that, and then you're going to say something else. And then, she wanted to have a discussion of Torah, not just teaching like a robot. You have to do this. Mm-hmm. This is what I want to teach. You get out of here, don't forget to say Mozonot, don't forget to say Amutzi, don't forget to wash your hands, don't forget to, this is what I want. And she says, no. Teach them the pilpul in each halakha. Let them ask a question, why? And you explain them, and then you say there's another thing, right? She wanted more the people to ask questions and to come to conclusions. And this is called pilpula shel Torah, the pilpul of Torah, right?
So what's the raya that she does on Torah?
So that's why some Sofers, this is a limud that the Talmud says, right? This is a limud, but the Shevim Panim la Torah. So he says, this is a limud, but really, the discussion was about how to give over Torah to people, right? This is one limud, and many times the Gemara takes one pasuk, and the Gemara has a lot of limudim, right? So this is one limud that the Khatam Sofer wants to bring down, right? He goes very in deep, right? He goes very in deep. He brings all kinds of rayot. We won't go into this today, but I want to show you another part at the end of the parasha, right? At the end of the parasha. At the end of the parasha, it says the Avraham Avinu was tested with the Akedah. He has to take his son and bring him down as a sacrifice, right? Olah, and take him, right? And he's walking with his son, and he's telling his son, Elokim yireh lo aseh le'olah beni, right? The whole story of the Akedah. At the end of the Akedah, what does it say? After the Malach comes and stops him, Al tishlach et chana, don't do that. Hashem was testing you. He just wanted to see how far you can go, right? This was the last Nisayon. You're never going to be tested anymore. And now Hashem is proud of you. You can tell the angels, you can tell the people of the world why He loves you. Why He loves you so much. At the end of the story, it says, they finish the whole thing. It says over here, Vayashov Avraham el ne'arav, Vayakumu vayelchu yachdav el Beershava, Vayeshev am Beershava. And Avraham returns to his servants. Who are the servants? As she explains before, Eliezer and Ishmael. Right? He returns to them. Vayelchu yachdav Beershava. Comes the Midrash and asks a question. Ve'efo Yitzchak? And where is Yitzchak? Why did it say Vayeshov Avraham? And Avraham returned to his servants. Should have said, like in the beginning, Vayelchu shnehem yachdav. They went together. So should have said, and they returned towards the servants. Or say, if you say Avraham, and Avraham Yitzchak returned to the servants. Why we're not speaking about Yitzchak over here? Says the Midrash Rabbah, you know why? After the Akedah, when Hashem told him don't touch it, he took off the ropes from his hands, from his feet. Avraham says, Yitzchak, go to yeshiva of Shem. Go to the yeshiva of Shem and go study Torah. Don't come back home. If you come back home and you tell your mother, she's going, what? Really? What? She's going to say, no, come, I'll make you good soup. No. Don't come back home. Go to learn Torah. Says the Midrash. Mashal, it's like a woman. She was weaving. She had a weaving instrument, and she was weaving, and she was making money. So she said, this weaving tool, right, I'm going to keep very preciously. Says the Midrash, Avraham Avinu says, why did I get up to the level of being able to bring my son as a sacrifice? How did I get there? Where did I get to the level to have guests every day and all? Everything b'zchut Torah. If I wouldn't study Torah, I wouldn't have all this. So he understood, says the Midrash, that everything that he got in life, all the levels of spirituality they got in life, everything was b'zchut limud Torah. Says Avraham Avinu, if I got to this level, I want Yitzchak to reach this level and higher, so I'm sending him to learn Torah. So he sent them to Yeshivat Shem, says the Midrash Rabbah, and he comes, Vayeshor Avraham and Arav, he goes back to his servants, and they go back to Beersheba. Right? So you see again, what's the essence of Avraham? Torah. Right? His essence is to learn Torah. Now we can understand a little bit what Chachamim said 2 weeks ago in Parashat Noach. He says, Noach ish tzadik tamim haya bedorotav. Noach was a pious man in his generation. One of the opinions, Rabbi Yochanan says, no, but if he would have been in the generation of Avraham, he wouldn't be considered nothing. What do you mean? The Torah says tzadik tamim. Okay? So they say, look at the difference. Look at the difference between Noach and Avraham. And I'll tell you a story before coming to this difference. There's a Rav in Israel, Rav Yitzchak Yedidia Franco. He was the Rav Arashi in Tel Aviv. He had a friend in Tel Aviv. He had a friend. This friend was like intellectual. They together, they passed the Holocaust. But one became a rabbi, and the other one was a poet. He was writing songs, all kinds of poetry, all kinds of things. But they had like a connection. So one time, this Rabbi Yitzchak, long time he didn't visit his friend. He goes to visit his friend. He comes to his apartment in Tel Aviv over there. What did he see all over the apartment? Bottles of whiskey, bottles of wine, empty bottles on the floor. So he understood the guy is... So the person saw the rabbi, says, yeah, don't, He says, Rabbi, my good friend, you know what we went through. You know what's the Holocaust? This guy lost his wife, he lost his children, he lost his money, he came to Israel, didn't have nothing, he started from scratch. So he says, Rabbi, what do you expect? He told them, Noach. What did Noach do? This person is telling the rabbi. What did Noach do after the Mabul? He comes out, he sees nothing in the world. No tree, no flowers, no man, no animals, nothing. Everything is destroyed. He started crying, Noach, right? What's the first thing Noach does? He goes and he plants a vine, and he starts drinking and he gets drunk. Rabbeinu, the Holocaust was like the Mabul. So basically I'm doing what Noach did. This is what he says. That's why he drank. Right? To forget. So he said, no. But do you think Avraham Avinu didn't go through this? Avraham Avinu, as he started, first thing they throw him in the fire. Avraham Avinu, Hashem is telling him, get out of your house, leave your father, leave your house, leave your friends, leave your business, everything, leave. Comes to Israel, there's a famine. Goes to Egypt, they take his wife. Comes back to Israel, right? And other problems start. All his life, his stories, his problems, tennis yonot, he's going to write. What does Avraham do? He doesn't start drinking. He doesn't start taking drugs or something. He starts, after every nisayon, he becomes better. Vayikra b'shem Hashem. He's telling everybody about Hashem. And every nisayon gets him bigger, right? That's what they say. If Noach would have been in the generation of Avraham, lo היה נחשב לכלום. You know why? Look what each one did differently. He had problems in life, he went down, he started drinking. He had problems in life, he elevated himself. So some people, after they go through a trouble, they go down. Right? Avraham Avinu says, you know how I'm going up? B'zchut Torah. Only because of Torah. If you study Torah, right, that's the only thing. Rav Shach says, when he lost Chaz V'Shalom his wife, Rav Shach says, he was so in pain, he says, Lulet Toratcha sha'ashuai, az avadeti be'oni. He was so sorry for his wife, couldn't take it, right? But he says, you know what? At least I have Torah. I can study Torah. Lulei Toratcha sha'ashwai. If not for the Torah keeps me up, who knows where I've been today without his wife, right? So that's right. That's what Avraham is teaching us. So they say, after the Holocaust, the Rav Kalman from the Ponevezh Yeshiva, he came to Israel. He went over to the Rav Arashi of Yerushalayim. Rav Betzalel Zloty was called. Big Talmid Chacham. Rav Vadia brings him, he quotes him a lot in his Sfarim. So he went over to the Rav and he told him, could you give me 1,000 shekel? Like, it's if you're saying, give me $100,000. At that time, after the Holocaust, it's like, give me $1 million today. So the rabbi says, I don't have what to give you. So the rabbi, Rav Zloty, was speaking to another Talmid Chacham. He says, the poor man, I think, happened to him what happened to a lot of people after the Holocaust. They lost their mind. He wants to build the yeshiva. He wants me to give him 1,000 shekel to build the yeshiva. And I asked him how many students you want. He told me 1,000 students. How are you going to support 1,000 students with food, with dorms? Nebuch. Rav Zloty said Rav Kalman is Nebuch. He's a Nebuch. He lost his mind. He has dreams. Yeah. He has dreams. That's what the Rav Zloty. He was a big Talmid Chacham. He's a huge Talmid Chacham, right? So after that, Rav Kalman didn't give up. He continued, and Baruch Hashem, he succeeded. So he heard what the Rav Zloty said about him. So he told somebody, he thought I'm Meshugane, right? But you know what Meshugane people do? They take rocks and they throw on people. That's a Meshugane. Meshugane sees a rock, he throws at people. You know what I did? When I saw a rock, I put it on the floor. When I saw another one, I put it next to it, and I built my yeshiva like this. I was a Meshugane collecting stones. Meshugane throw stones, but I was a Meshugane collecting stones. And this is how the yeshiva was built. יש משוגעים, אבל יש כל מיני שתיים. משוגעים, יש כל מיני שתיים. So after the Holocaust, he lost everything. Rav Kalman lost everything. He comes to Israel. There's nothing. There was nothing in Israel. When he came to Bnei Brak, it was desert. Bnei Brak. They asked him, why you choose Bnei Brak? Why didn't he go to Yerushalayim? He says when he came to Israel, he came to Bnei Brak, it was only sand, it was only a desert, and he saw a shepherd there. And he saw the way the shepherd is taking care of his flock, of the sheep. He says, wow. He says, this is the place to build Torah. He saw this shepherd, the way he was taking care of the sheep. He says, the love that he had, this is the love I'm going to give my students. I learned it from the shepherd. This is the place I want to build Torah. And this is how Bnei Brak started. From nothing, from sand. And from Meshugane picking up rocks and putting them together, hoping to build a yeshiva for 1,000 people, and succeeds. Right? To tell you, in life, you have to think Torah way, which means Avraham and Sarah. Even when you bring guests, there's a whole ma'alach, what to say, how to say, what is the proper way to deal with people, right? You're gonna take somebody who says, if you do this, it's karet, right? Tell it to Chiloni. He says, okay, I'm going out of here. Well, later you hear this, right? But what should I say? Should I say dvarim pshutim? Should I say deeper things, right? Right? They say, the Chatam Sofer say, in the discussion of Sarah and Avram, who was right? Sarah. Why? Because the Malachim wanted to show Avraham Avinu she's right. What they ask him? What did he say? Oil. Says the Chassam Sofer, where do we find the word oil? Adam ki yamut be'oil. And what is it referring to? Limud Torah. They wanted Avraham to say oil to teach you that she was right. Adam ki yamut. Yamut be'oil means the learning should be an intense learning, a deep learning through pilpul, right? So they wanted to show him that she was right. They're asking with her. That this is the way, right? Sometimes don't be afraid to teach people, even people that never learn Gemara. Be deep. You can go deep with them, right? Sometimes people like it. They won't they won't keep the 100%, but they're going to keep something out of it. Something is going to stay with them, right? And it's going to give them cheshek to learn more, right? So don't be scared to give people. Depends also on your crowd. Depends also on the crowd. Sometimes people, there was once a rabbi, he was sitting and the rabbi speaking. And the rabbi was speaking so much, And after the drasha, Talmidim ask him, Rabbi, how did you find the rabbi's drasha? He says, wow, I never saw somebody speak so long saying nothing. He was speaking so long saying nothing. Means, well, what people get out of what he's saying? They didn't get nothing. He was talking and talking and talking. No one took anything from what he said, right? So you have to know your crowd, right? But that's the pilpul between Abraham and Sarah. That is right. And also, Abraham is teaching you, right, that he's recognizing that everything he got in life is b'zchut Torah. Don't think he can do it without Torah. Torah is the only thing. If not, you'll be Noach. If you won't stick to Torah, the smallest problem you're going to have in life, you're going to go down. You're going to go down. So you must stick to Torah, and you must know the level of Torah. And B'ezrat Hashem, this is what the founders of the nation, Abraham and Sarah, are teaching us. So B'ezrat Hashem, זכותם יגן עלינו, שהוא יהיה בו מתי יגיעו מעשיי למעשי אבותיי. אמן.